Great. Welcome, everybody. I'm Gina, and today we're going to do some really gentle movements. We're going to do some grounding and some meditation, some relaxations. So first, find yourself a really comfortable seat, wherever that is, whether you want something behind your back, whether you want to sit on the ground or the mat or a cushion, whether you want to sit in a chair or in a bed. It really doesn't matter. What we're looking for is some gentle, tall spine. So thinking about lifting the chest up, being proud, tucking the chin slightly. Sometimes we have a tendency to jet the chin out. So just keeping the head in line with the neck and in line with the spine. Pressing the sits bones down into whatever's underneath you and using that root to rise, pressing down into the hips and then lifting up through the chest, rooting down into the hips and lifting up into the chest. And we'll start with just some really, really gentle movements, starting with some seated cat-cows today. You can go as slow or as quickly as feels good in your body, but tucking the chin into a cat pose with the arched back, and then bringing the chest through the shoulders, looking up towards the ceiling. And then we'll match it to the breath. So exhaling into our cat pose and inhaling into the cow pose. Tipping the hips with each change in position. So tucking the tailbone under for cat and putting a gentle curve in the spine for cow. And we'll do a couple more of these. And again, they can be as fast or as slow as feels good in your body, as big or as small. You don't have to look like me. You just have to listen to what your body wants today. And that might be something totally different. You're not obligated to participate in every little thing. If you just sit and listen to your breath, that is absolutely perfect. All right, we'll do one more round and then come back into a nice tall seat and put a little movement into the shoulders. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears and back and down the spine. And again, these can be as big or as small, as fast or as slow as feels good in your body. You can get the arms involved if you like, if that feels good. You can make big circles with the shoulders, or you can keep it really small. And then don't forget to go in both directions. So when you feel like you've had enough in one direction, switch to the other direction. Some people find that they like to do one shoulder at a time, which is also fine. Figure out what feels good in your body today, because we are a different body every day. Our abilities change, and that's normal. That's okay. And then we'll take a big breath and bring the shoulders up towards the ears and let it all out with a sigh, letting the shoulders drop. And we'll do one more of those. Bring the shoulders up, up, up. Take an inhale. And then let it all go. Sometimes we don't even realize the shoulders carry a lot of tension. And then we'll tip one ear to one shoulder. Breathe here for a few breaths. This might feel like enough. Great. You can also gently rest the opposite hand on top of the head. Just gently. We don't want to strain the neck in any way, but just if you're looking for that little bit of extra. And then if you do have your hand on your head, we'll bring that down, bring the chin to the chest, opposite ear to the other shoulder, and we'll stretch out the opposite side of the neck. And again, this might be enough. You might feel really good here, or if you like, you can gently rest the opposite hand on top of the head. Watching the breath, inviting the belly to get involved. And then if the hand's on the head, you can let that go, drop the chin to the chest, and come back into our nice tall seat. And then if there's any other movement that your body wants before we kind of get into a relaxation pose, this is a great time to do it. So some people want to stretch out their hands and wrists. Other people might want to wiggle their hips or do some twists. Or you might already feel like, you know what, I'm all right. I'm good. I'm ready to be in a relaxation pose. And your relaxation pose, again, you could be seated on the floor or on a cushion. You can be laying down on a mat or on a bed. You might want something behind your lower back if that ever bothers you, whatever it is. Think about uncrossing your legs if you're sitting in a chair and getting in a position where you feel like, yeah, I could sit here for 10, 15 minutes, no problem. And this is going to be comfortable for me, right? Because if you're feeling uncomfortable, if there's pain or discomfort, it's going to be way harder to feel like you're in the present moment in the meditation. And then if you like, you can close your eyes, but I recognize it's not always comfortable for everyone. So also feel free to lower your gaze, find a drishti, find a little point of focus where you can block out all of the potential distractions from the outside world as we head inward. So I'll invite you to notice the breath. We breathe thousands of times a day and we don't notice a lot of our breath. So just see where the breath is today. Where is it most prevalent? Can you feel it on the upper lip as it comes into the nasal passages? Can you feel it in the back of the throat as the breath comes down into the lungs? If you're familiar with the Ujjayi breath, it's this ocean breath where you have a really open throat, breathing in and out through the nose. Kind of sounds like waves. Can you feel the breath in the chest, lifting on the inhale and sinking on the exhale? And can you invite the breath down into the belly? And these don't have to be big breaths. They don't have to be deep breaths. They don't have to be quick breaths. Just whatever feels natural in your body. But invite the diaphragm to get involved, letting the belly rise on the inhale and sink on the exhale. Inhale, belly rise. And exhale, belly fall. So while you're watching the breath, this might be a good time to come up with an intention for your practice today. It could be as simple as I'm in the present moment, I'm watching my breath, or I'm coming back to my breath, because we lose the breath really easily. That's fine. It happens to everyone. It's not a big deal. We just need to recognize when we lose attention, come back to the focus. Or maybe you have another type of intention where you're trying to be more compassionate, maybe to yourself or to others, or you're trying to cultivate a certain emotion in your life, more joy, more happiness, more patience. Send that out into the universe. Let the universe help conspire to make it so. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly sink. And see if you can feel the breath in your back body. We often ignore the backside because we don't see it ourselves. Practice breathing into your low back. What does that feel like? Can you breathe into your mid-back, letting the intercostal muscles between each rib expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale? Breathing 360 degrees all the way around your torso. Can you breathe into your upper back? Making each breath really slow and deliberate, especially the exhales. Maybe you try exhaling through the mouth. Involving the abdominal muscles, really helping to push out all of the air. And then when you're totally empty, slowly inhaling back in through the nose. Filling the belly, filling the ribs, filling the back, the chest. Slowly, slowly, all the way full. And exhaling through the mouth. And taking it at your own pace. You don't have to match mine. Into the belly, the ribs, the back, the chest. And when you're totally full of air, slowly, controlled, gently, extending the exhale. When our exhales are longer than our inhales, it helps stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system and tell our body and our brain that we're safe and we can rest, digest, repair, heal, that we are in a space where we can turn off the fight or flight response and that we can focus on, again, going inward and cooling off that stress response. Breathing in through the nose, filling the belly, the ribs, the chest, and slowly, gently out through the mouth. Holding the breath at the bottom, a little retention, maybe 4 or 5 seconds until you feel that urge to breathe, but don't wait too long so that you can inhale really gently, slowly, with control so you're not gasping for breath. And again, on the end of your next exhale, we'll hold the breath again, maybe 5 or 6 seconds, whatever feels like it's just enough for your body, so that when it is time to breathe in, you can breathe in nice and controlled in through the nose. A nice slow exhale. We'll do one more retention like this. Holding the breath at the bottom. And when it feels like, yeah, I really need to breathe, breathing in gently. Letting the breathing pattern return to normal. In and out through the nose where you can. And then we'll just do a little body scan. How do you feel? How's your head? How are your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists? How do your arms feel? Is there any way to relax or adjust if you're holding any tension? How's your back, your chest, your abdomen? Check in with your hips, your thighs and your knees. Check in with your calves and your shins, your ankles and your feet. If there's any area that you think could be helped, relaxed by a little movement, go ahead and make whatever adjustments you need to. And then we'll come back to some stillness and move into a 4-7-8 breathing pattern. So if you made an intention in the beginning of our time together, bring that intention to the back of the mind. This pattern can go as quickly or as slowly as feels good in your body. But it's an inhale for a count of 4, a hold at the top for a count of 7, and a slow exhale for a count of 8. So you can either deliberately count in for 4 and deliberately count, hold for 7, and deliberately count, exhale for 8. Or you can be more intuitive, where you inhale for what feels like the right amount of time, hold for a little bit longer, and then make the exhale about twice as long as the inhale. And that's fine too. Some people find the counting to be really helpful, and some people find the counting to be difficult or stressful. And it, figure out which kind of person you are and do what feels right in your body. But this is called the 4-7-8 breath. It's in for 4, hold for 7, and out for 8. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let you figure out what works best in your body for this breathing pattern. And if this breathing pattern doesn't work for you, just go back to a nice, slow in and out through the nose, following the breath in and following the breath out. That's perfectly good as well. Go ahead and finish up this round of breath. Take your time. There is no rush. In for 4, hold for 7, and a nice slow exhale for 8. And when you finish that round, allow the breath to return to normal. Let the breath breathe you. See, is it different? Is it the same? How does it feel in your body? Can you feel the breath coming in through the nose? Maybe you feel it on the upper lip, in the sinuses, coming down the throat, filling the chest. Maybe you feel it in the belly, in the ribs. Take a moment to gently bring some movement back into your extremities, into the hands and feet, and then into the arms and legs. Taking your time, being really gentle as you bring movement back into your body. Really seeing, how do my joints feel? How does my body feel? What would feel good for me right now? And then, if your eyes are still closed, feel free to gently blink open the eyes. Thanks for practicing with me today.